you're here. I'm pleased, I really feel your company. Your style, your smile, your pace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me. I was blind, now I can see what a king's supposed to be.
Excuse me, miss. I was in the waiting room when you gave your testimony. And what I realized is that we have an enemy in common. While you were being called to the office again, I was being put out the only home I've ever known. While you were shaking with anxiety and fear over something no one ever wants to hear, I was shaking in dread. Because we all know what happens to little girls that have no home and no one to claim them. I think our souls passed each other by. See, my soul left me a long time ago in a dingy motel room, ripped away by brutal force. It fled, unable to find its way back home.
Historical people, who would you want in your seat and why?
Wow. I guess because I'm different. You know, I'm not really starstruck. And so it would be hard to really pinpoint anybody in particular. First person that just came to my mind, you know, I mean, if I had an opportunity to cut Denzel, you know, I would.
That's a good one.
I'd do that.
That would be a dope conversation.
Exactly.
How important is diversity in your work, considering you grew up in a bilingual, bicultural home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. I think at this point, just in society, there's just so much diversity. You know, whether it be in language, whether it be in your upbringing, whether it be, you know, in whatever that is. And so I think growing up in, you know, a bilingual household as well as really a bicultural, despite the fact that, you know, my parents are you know, both of Hispanic descent, but growing up in two different cultures of, you know, very traditional values in the home and very different, and sometimes similar values, right, outside of the home, but in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And so,
he tests those whom he loves. I pray he continues to love me till my death. I pray he continues testing me and testing me and testing me until I have no questions left. Until I can ingest knowledge and choke on lies and spit out truth with every breath. But you see, until love for what he loves and hate for what he hates is the only thing that's left within my chest. I know that I will constantly fight to love what's right because I was created with a heart that sits slightly to the left. But I'm okay with that. Because I always knew and always know that he knows exactly what is best. You see, he knew that it would only be a matter of time before I would open my eyes and finally realize that I needed to look deep down inside and pull out the divide so that my heart and my mind would collide and learn to work together.
What's good, online community, extraordinary family? We are back for another powerful, insightful episode of Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. I am your host, Willie Beeman. We've been, yes, sir. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I already know.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely excited, man, for this interview. This is a guy that I've grown to know over the last couple of months.
Yep.
Working with him and Uplift, trying to create partnerships and innovative programming, man. I believe our goal here at the library is to make sure that we're putting things in place for our community.
Right.
That we're definitely a community-driven library. But without further ado, got to introduce our guest on today's show. He is a lifelong resident of Fort Worth, Texas, Funky Town. That's where I'm from.
Highland Hills.
Yes, sir. Community leader with 14 plus years serving on boards, commissions, and councils. Holds associate's degrees in management and marketing from Tarrant County College. President of the Highland Hills Neighborhood Association since 2015. Founder of the Lockett Family Charitable Foundation, supporting youth and families. And last but not least, he is married to Deborah Walton Johnson with 2 adult children, Julian and Zari. Online community extraordinary family. Let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Mr. Jerome Johnson.
Okay, I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Got our cheerleaders.
But I wanna throw one more thing.
Go ahead, bro.
And I might have left this out when I sent it in, but I worked hard for that bachelor's degree from UTA.
Yes.
Bachelor's degree in sociology.
Yes.
And the reason it means so much to me is I was a 45-year-old man when I got it. I started off at 18, working towards it.
Wow.
Life happened, became a dad. And, I would go back for a few semesters and then life would start lifing. But finally got it at 45. So that's one of the most important pieces of paper in my life. It's at my mama's house right now.
That's awesome. That's encouraging to me, bro. The reason why I say it is because I don't know if I shared this on the show, but I've shared it with staff and other people. I'm ready to go back to school.
Do it.
In fall, I'll be going to CCC Northeast to become a sports analyst and broadcaster.
Do it.
And so I've been grateful, man, to get the media experience here.
You gonna be grateful.
Yeah, man. It's just a passion that I have.
That's why the name Willie Beeman.
That's my alter ego, man.
I already know.
Alter ego.
If you don't know what that is, man.
Yeah. Man. Any given Sunday, if y'all had not seen that movie, please go watch it. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a Texas native.
For sure.
Mr. Johnson, before we get to who you are, you're a man of many hats. You're a father, you're a husband, you're a community leader. You do a lot of different things. But before we get to all of that, just kind of share with us your childhood, your upbringing. What did that look like for you?
Okay. My childhood. Well, my childhood started off pretty close to here. I was born at Carswell Air Force Base. My dad was in the Air Force for 22 years, and I'm their last kid. My mom and dad had 4 kids.
Yeah,
I'm number 4. By the time I came along, my mama was tired of doing all that traveling, going overseas, because she lived in Japan and da. And so they knew as my dad's military career was coming to an end that he would have to do a couple of stints other places. Actually, when I was born, he was in Guam. Well, he wasn't in Guam. He was stationed in Guam, but he came home for my birth. And he must have timed it pretty good because I came a week early. Wow. So he got here in time for me to be born. And then he came back from Guam, and we moved from the military base housing over here to Highland Hills. I was about to turn 3 when they moved in 1970. And he had to go to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, to do one last stint. And I think it's Davis Air Force Base. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And my mom stayed here with her 4 kids. And then for a while, before that, when he was back and forth, for a few months, we did live in my parents' hometown, Yazoo City, Mississippi. Y'all
Yazoo City.
Nothing about Yazoo City. But Yazoo City is in the Mississippi Delta, right on the Yazoo River, which is very important in the history of the Civil War.
Wow.
So Google that, Yazoo City, Yazoo River. Good old down home people. But yeah, that's my childhood. I went to Carter Park Elementary School.
Wow, I know exactly what that is.
Yep.
Yeah. I went to Rosemont.
And then
cool.
My brothers went to OD Wide. And, when you're the youngest child, you want your own identity.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to go to OD Wide like my brothers. So I went to Tech.
Wow.
I went to Trimmer Tech. How about them dogs? And so, class of 86. Was vice president of my class. Still in touch with a lot of my high school classmates. That's the best class to ever come out of Trimble Tech. I know somebody else in the audience don't agree.
My God.
She think the year before was better, but 86. But yeah.
That's hilarious.
Grew up in Fort Worth. I've watched it really grow.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, Fort Worth was just really a big old small town.
Mm.
And now it's this city with 1 million people and crazy traffic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Traffic is definitely, especially 35 and 20, like we just
I
talked
think
about.
20 worse.
20, yeah.
I think
20 probably.
they neck and neck.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I want to pinpoint something you mentioned earlier. I heard the word identity. Why was that so important for you to separate yourself from your siblings, knowing that they're going to Wild and I want to go to this other school? Why was that important?
I've just always wanted to be my own person. And I don't know if that just comes with being the youngest kid, because here's the thing that happened to me a lot growing up. When you go to a school, and I'll tell you a story about Rosemont.
I want to hear this
teacher, and her name was Miss Benson. She taught social studies, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't really care for Miss Benson. I thought she was mean. I even thought she was racist. But may she rest in peace if she's gone. I don't know what happened to her, but that was so long ago. She's probably resting in peace. But Miss Benson asked me, she thought I was just this bad kid, but I was actually one of the smartest kids in my class. I don't know. I wouldn't say I had behavior problems. It's just that I talked a lot. And so I would finish my work, I would talk, and, I guess I had an issue with authority. And so she would say, you sit down, da, 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 da. I didn't like the way she said it. And so sometimes I would give her a hard time. And so she says to me one day, she says, Johnson, did you have any brothers or sisters that went to this school? I said, yeah, my brother Jarvis went to this school. And she said, get out. And I'm like, huh? She was like, I knew it was something about you I didn't like. And she put me out of her class and had me transferred to another social studies class because her and my brother had a clash when he was at the same school. And so people tend to associate you with your siblings.
Yes.
And back in the day, my brother was something else. I mean, that's my dude now, but my brother was something else.
Yeah.
And he kind of had a temper, and Miss Benson pushed his buttons because she tried to push mine. The thing is, I was a little more chill than he was. So I didn't give her the reaction that he did, but she remembered that. And the thing is, we're 9.5 years apart.
Wow.
So she remembered him a decade later.
That's crazy.
And, so I always wanted to just be my own person because when you grow up the youngest kid, oh, that's Jeffrey's little brother. That's Jarvis' little brother.
Yes.
It's never, hey, Jerome. Oh, look at your little brother. He's so cute. And I just wanted to be Jerome. I didn't want to be James and Joan's son. I didn't want to be Jeffrey and Jarvis, Jennifer's brother.
Wow.
I just wanted to be me.
Yeah.
And, that's hard when you're the youngest kid.
Yeah. Wow. That's so important. It reminds me of even me and my siblings. I'm the oldest of 4. So I think that's very important when it comes to identity and who we are as we're growing up, man. I think that's very vital because at the end of the day, yes, we have siblings. Yes, we do a lot of things together, but I want to be my own person.
Right.
I want to be my own man. I want to be the Jerome that the Lord has called me to be. And so, that's very vital. The fact that she was able to remember that 10 years later, that is crazy.
That's crazy, but it happened. She put me out of class based on her interaction with my brother 10 years prior.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you stood your ground, man.
Well, I was glad she put me out because I didn't like her.
Staying in this vein, you being a Fort Worth native like myself, what lessons did you learn growing up in Fort Worth that still stick with you today? What were some of those lessons that you keep to your heart?
Fort Worth is a unique city. Like I said earlier, Fort Worth has always been a big town.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think the lessons I learned in Fort Worth had a lot to do with how people perceive Black people. And, because when you're a little kid, you don't really understand
Saying it,
racism.
yeah, you don't.
And then in hindsight, when you look back on things, you realize that racism was in your face all along. Because when I think back to what I went through in elementary school, you know, going to Carter Park, I think, let me calculate real quick. I started kindergarten in 1973 because my birthday is at the end of September. So I was always one of the oldest kids in the class.
Wow.
So I started kindergarten, and about 3-4 weeks later, I turned 6. So,
Gotcha.
you know, I was always the oldest kid. And so 1973, I started kindergarten. And if you think about that year, schools were still trying to process and get through desegregation. And so during that time, I heard some racist things and, you know, got called some racist things. And, you know, I didn't really connect the dots.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I just thought, oh, they being mean.
Yeah.
And then the more I grew and learned and saw things, I really learned that it's not really about name calling. It's really more systemic than anything.
Yeah.
And what I learned in Fort Worth, especially when dealing with the Fort Worth way, is it's really not easy being a person of color in America, especially in the Deep South, including Texas.
Yeah.
So that was my main lesson that I've learned growing up in Fort Worth, because as much as I love my hometown, I love Fort Worth, a lot of racist stuff goes on here. And so as a impressionable kid, I thought, okay, I can be anything I want to be, and it's going to be easy because I have everything it takes, you know. And then as you grow older, you realize you may have everything it takes, but there will be people who try to block you.
That's
because
so true.
You don't look like they look.
Yeah.
So that was a hard lesson that I had to learn. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it stings, sometimes it hurts. And honestly, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Because it's a lifelong lesson.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
One thing, shout out to our library manager, Rita Wilson. She always says that no matter how old you get, you should be always learning. You should be always growing. You should be always evolving. I mean,
absolutely.
We heard it from Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Right?
Ain't nothing but a number.
Exactly. And so, at the end of the day, man, we should always be learning and growing. I want to throw this question out there from Dr. Karen Davis, who's in the audience, one of our cheerleaders.
KD.
Share with those who are watching, share with those who are listening. If you could speak life or get encouragement from the 12-year-old Jerome, what would that be?
So the 12-year-old Jerome was a mess. And I wish I could go back to my 12th birthday, which was September 28th, 1979, and just have a conversation with 12-year-old Jerome. And first of all, tell him, you're going to be okay. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't let people get to you. Don't take everything to heart. You're going to have haters. Let them hate.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
Stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to fit in.
Yeah.
God did not make you to fit in. He made you unique for a reason. He made you to stand out.
I agree.
So stand out and stop worrying about what other people think about you.
Yeah.
And stay focused on your journey and your goal. And if the 58-year-old version of me could go back to then and tell the 12-year-old version that, and he actually take it to heart, I think my life would be so different right now.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
that's powerful. Well said. Well, we're gonna leave that right there. Online community. I want to get to as I was studying your bio, you are a man of many hats, many committees, different things that you still do. Who or what first inspired your passion for community service? Where did this desire and hunger come from?
Well, I'll tell you something that was really interesting to me. I've always been really big on ancestry and heritage and just my bloodline. And so recently, a few years back, I started really tracing my ancestry through ancestry.com, which was easy for my mom's side of the family because they had already traced their history. And I read this book that one of my cousins wrote about our family, the Lockett family. My mother's maiden name is Lockett. And I found out in reading that my great grandfather was a community man. They did an interview of my grandfather, and he talked about his dad and how he was just always giving back to the community.
Yes, yes.
And then as a kid, I spent a lot of time in Mississippi with my grandparents, and I noticed they did the same thing. They had this community fund that they created. And so everybody on the block and the next street over, everybody in the community would give $1, whatever they had to spare.
Right.
And my grandmother would take it to the bank, and they deposit it, and say Miss Jones next door couldn't afford to pay her light bill. My grandmama would go get that money out the bank, get that light bill paid. Say Miss Juanita down the street just has a baby and she couldn't afford the diapers or the milk or whatever. They would get that, and I didn't find that out until they had both passed.
Wow.
Because they didn't seek recognition for it. They were just good-hearted people, and when you watch that and you live with that, that becomes a part of you.
Yes, yes.
Because my mother's is the same way. That bloodline, those Locketts, they're just good people. Stubborn as hell, but good people. My mother for 22 years, every Thursday, she went to Weber Garden Nursing Home on Village Creek and Berry. She would give those patients the Sunday school lesson.
Wow.
She would
awesome.
do devotion. She would sing, pray with them, pray over them. But before they did that, before they assembled in the dining area, she would go room to room. She learned their names. She learned their birthdays, what they liked. She would take them fruit baskets, and she knew specifically, oh, Gwen loves grapes. Let me take her a bunch of grapes, but she doesn't like oranges. And she would take them stuff. She would spend her own money and take them stuff. And then on Friday nights, she would switch it up and go to different hospitals. And she would just go room to room. Can I pray with you? And she met so many people. And in that time, she met a young man, Larry, and he's like a brother to me now. Because his mother was terminal at that time. Yeah. And she passed, and my mother became like a mother figure to
her.
him.
Yeah, to him.
Because she showed so much love and compassion when he was in the process of losing his mother. And so I watched her do that for 22 years until her health started to decline. And that's just the kind of family that I come from. And so community service is just second nature to me because I love helping people. Even when I was a kid, I thought I was grown. And I've always liked helping kids because in my mind, I was an adult. I was just in a kid's body. So, I started teaching the little kids in Vacation Bible School when I was like 15. Wow. I started serving in the Sunday school as an assistant superintendent when I was 16. I was the Vacation Bible School director at 16. I just loved serving people. And so that came from family and church.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It takes me to the scripture that Jesus says, I didn't come to be served, I came to serve. Right. And I think that's a very important thing, especially from the lineage and the background that you come from.
Exactly. That makes me, I want to say something, because when I accepted my call into ministry in 1999, I was just excited and, just wanting to serve people because I think that people often look at it as, oh, you're just supposed to sit in the pulpit and preach. But that has never been me. I feel like my ministry is more so one-on-one, helping people, helping
I love
families and stuff like that. Yeah. And so one time I was at the church and there was this big function going on and all the ministers were at a head table and being fed, but instead I was helping serve food and I saw a spill on the floor and I started mopping. And this man says to me, you out of place. You are a minister. You're supposed to be served, not serving. They're supposed to be serving you. You're not supposed to be serving them. And I'm like, that turned me off so bad that it made me question
Yeah.
everything. And that's a part of the church hurt that so many people get.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like when God has a special calling on your life, you're obligated to do more. So, I mean, if I'm supposed to just sit up and do nothing and be served, I don't want it. I want to help people.
Yes.
I want to bless people.
Yes.
And you can't do that by sitting up waiting for people to come to you and serve you. I mean, I've wiped kids' snotty noses.
Yeah.
You know, I've fixed plates for seniors who couldn't walk.
Yeah.
That's because look at the Bible. Look what Jesus did.
All he did was serve.
That's all he did.
That's all he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. Before we move on, I have I want to hone in on that here recently. My wife's father passed last year. He had a really bad brain tumor, and the aftermath was crazy. And so I remember we flying out there because she's from California, Victorville, and we went out there.
Okay.
And every day we was out there. Me and her getting up in the morning and helping him because he couldn't really fend for himself. He was in the hospital bed.
Right.
So we had to get up every morning and change him, make sure he was clean, make sure he had his food, all these different things. And so to me, serving leadership is setting aside yourself for the betterment of other people.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's bigger than you.
It's bigger than you.
And so, great story, man.
You know, it's crazy though. My mom is in the nursing home or skilled nursing facility.
Yeah.
And it just, my mom will be 91 in July. And I prayed a couple of days ago and said, God, my mom has lived a full life. She's served you since she's a little girl. I don't want to lose my mama, but she has told you she's ready whenever you are. I don't want to lose my mama, but I can't watch her suffering much longer.
Yeah.
Why are you letting her suffer? And he responded to me, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, there's still purpose in her pain. She still has lessons to teach you and her grandchildren and her neighbors and her friends, because her pain is going to give somebody else purpose, because when they go through what you and your family are going through, then they'll see her pain and how she withstood it with such grace and dignity, and she stood on her faith. And so there is purpose in pain.
Yes, I totally agree. Right. I hope those that are watching and listening, man, are picking up what Mr. Jerome Johnson is giving us, man. This is definitely great. I want to shift. Talk about your experience as president of Highland Hills Neighborhood Association and what that means to you personally.
I love my hood. I love Highland Hills. Highland Hills has changed so much since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It used to be surrounded by pastures and cows and, but I love being president of Highland Hills Neighborhood Association. Now, what's crazy is I'm just about halfway through my 11th year. Next January will be 12 years. And what's crazy is I went into this thing thinking I'm going to serve a 2-year term, but they just won't vote me out. I have volunteered to leave, and they're like, no, we're going to keep you, and I love it because I love my community. And if anybody who knows anything about Highland Hills, it's a whole lot of elders out there. It's people that have lived out there since way before I was born. And they've held that community down, and now they're old. Their health is failing. It's things going around the community.
Yeah. Sometimes
people don't feel safe. And so whatever I can do, I'm going to fight for my community. We have some good things going on in Highland Hills. I've been working hard with the current council rep, Chris Nettles.
Yes.
And I'm trying to, we have a meeting this week, as a matter of fact, to talk about zoning and getting some of those areas that are zoned industrial, that are on the perimeter of our neighborhood, restructured and rezoned to be anything other than industrial. Let's rezone that to commercial, or let's rezone that to A5, single family home.
Right.
We don't need any more warehouses. Fort Worth already has and most of them are empty. So we're meeting with Councilman Nettles this week to talk about let's do some rezoning and protect Highland Hills.
Wow.
We got some things going on at the center. We're trying to do some more stuff to bring the community to the community center and the park. 28 acres. Let's utilize it. And then we have a quick trip that's going to open right on the perimeter of Highland Hills at I-20 in Oak Grove.
Oh, wow.
It's supposed to
That's
open in
awesome.
September.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's been great working with the team at Quick Trip. We actually just last week got approval to have a hiring fair at Highland Hills Community Center.
That's awesome.
Quick Trip is going to do that. And so hopefully my goal was always, let's bring in some kids from Highland Hills and those apartment complexes.
Yes,
right there. Let's put them to work.
Yeah.
So no better opportunity to do that. So in June, on the 13th of June, we'll be having a hiring event at Highland Hills Community Center.
That's awesome.
The date is to be determined, but it's on June the 13th.
Gotcha.
So,
audience, online community, y'all heard it.
Yeah.
Mr. Jerome Johnson, it is on the way, man. That is amazing. It reminds me of here and some of the things that we do here at the library back in January. We also had a job fair. We have a partnership with Goodwill Central Texas. He brought in a lot of different employers. And I can say, man, consistently, it was over 100 plus people in here from all walks of life, putting them in position to find employment, because we see what the economy is right now. And so that was an amazing event. So we plan on doing that again as well in July.
Yeah.
So, I love that, man. For you, you mentioned Nettles earlier. How can local leadership better support neighborhoods like Highland Hills, even people like him or people that you may be connected
Absolutely.
to? How can other people help assist?
I think that what elected officials really need to focus on is the fact that the people you should be trying to satisfy most are the people that voted you in and elected you.
That's good.
Listen to your communities. And, I'll just say that, so I've been serving as president for almost 12 years. So when I came in, the council rep was Kelly Allen Gray, and we are really good friends. She's like a sister to me. And then Councilman Nettles. So those are the two that I've always dealt with.
Right.
And, I'll say that both of them have my ear. I mean, well, they both, give me their ear.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way. I can reach out to either one of them and get things done. And so I will say, community members are never going to 100% agree with what their elected officials do.
Yeah.
I don't always agree with Councilman Nettles, but I will say he's been fair to me. And, we might not always like the way he votes on certain things at council, but I've never had any issues with Councilman Nettles. I think that when we speak up, he will look out for us, because the only reason we're having this meeting Thursday is because I kept calling and just questioning, hey, can we get some of this land rezoned so we don't have to worry about this industrial stuff?
Right.
And him and his team put it together, so we're having this meeting. So I think that a lot of times elected officials, they do their very best, but sometimes you have to just come together with the community and listen. I think a lot of times, especially in Fort Worth, in more higher up positions, they already have their own agenda. And so nothing a community can say will change their mind. And let's go back to the Fort Worth way. I saw this video, I forget the lady's name, but elderly white lady, and she was talking about the Fort Worth way. And she said, she summarized it in one sentence. She said, the Fort Worth way is basically, don't piss off rich white people.
That's heavy.
Yeah. And so I'm like, whoa, okay. But it's some truth to that.
Yeah.
That is kind of how Fort Worth operates,
Wow.
So we know the city has a power structure. And so sometimes things happen and the elected official gets the brunt of the criticism and the pushback, when actually it's stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Some stuff that, we think, oh, well, you're on the city council, you got all this power. But the real power is tucked away.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Rivercrest or, Westover Hills.
Yeah.
Where the money is.
Yeah. I totally agree. I want to go back. You mentioned earlier how they kept trying to vote you back in and you were trying to remove yourself. But to me, I think that speaks to your leadership and your servant leadership, your root system, people who have come before you. You mentioned your father earlier, being a community driven person. And so that speaks to who you are and your character and your integrity and your heart to serve your community. One thing that I heard from one of my former coworkers, he said, just because you have a leadership position doesn't mean you have leadership qualities.
Right.
There's a difference. You can have this title, but are you actually in the trenches doing the work and trying to make things happen? And so, yeah, that's what it speaks to, man. Yeah. So I would just say keep rocking.
You know what I would say to that is I don't need a title to make a difference.
Exactly.
And even if they did decide, okay, this is your last term, we don't want you to be president anymore, I'll still keep fighting for the community.
Exactly.
I don't need a title.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah, I don't need a title.
We're going to shift gears again.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of shifting gears. What inspired you to start the Lockett Family Charitable Foundation? What was the backstory behind it?
My grandparents.
Yeah.
My mom's parents. I didn't really know my dad's parents. So, most people have 4 grandparents. And me growing up, I only had 2.
Wow.
Because my dad's mom had passed and, he never really knew his father. So when he married my mom, they became like his parents,
Gotcha.
because they weren't just in-laws. They welcomed him and took him in like they were, like he was their own kid. And so for me, my grandparents, his name was Leroy, but everybody called him Red. So my grandfather, Red Lockett, and his wife, Magnolia Williams Lockett, they inspired me. My grandparents mean so much to me. Even now, when I'm down, sometimes I can feel my grandfather's presence and I can hear his voice, and he'll be like, "Boy, you a Lockett. We might bend, but we don't break. You can't let these people get to you.
Yeah.
Get up out that bed and go do something and show these people who you are.
Wow.
You a Lockett. You God's child. And so you might not be invincible, but you're going to be hard to beat."
I love it.
Yeah, that. My grandparents inspired me. That's why I named it Lockett Family.
Lockett Family.
Yeah, because those Locketts, them some tough people. I'm saying. No, seriously, my grandfather, I should have never met him. He had cancer. He got cancer in 1958. I was born in 1967. That cancer was supposed to take him out in 1958. Mindful, segregated South, black man, cancer, no technology like we have now.
Not a whole lot of resources.
And they said, "Oh, you're not going to live. And if you do, you'll never work again." That man was right back at work. He had 2 more bouts with cancer. He had an accident at the railroad where it smashed his leg. They said he wouldn't walk again.
Wow.
He went back to work. He was I used to call my grandfather the Teflon kid because whatever you threw at him just bounced right back off.
I love it.
The doctor said, "Oh, he got 6 months," and he would 6 more years.
Yeah.
He was a fighter. And the strange thing is, I knew the connection was there. When the last time I saw my grandfather, he was in hospice, and I drove back from Mississippi to Texas in tears. So I got home, and right at midnight, I got on my knees, and I said, "God, I can't watch my grandfather suffer another minute." I got up off my knees at 12:18, 18 minutes after midnight, went to bed, slept good. Woke up that next morning, my phone rang. It was my mama. She was like, "Your grandfather died at 12:18.
Wow.
I said, "What time did you say?" She said 12:18. That's when I got up off my knees praying for God to show my grandfather mercy and take him out of his suffering. So when I said amen, he passed.
Whew. What did that do for you in that moment, mentally and emotionally, after hearing that news? Where were you at moving forward?
It helped me to do his eulogy because I didn't have any more tears to cry. Because all the suffering was over. she had crossed over. It was
Yes.
time for her reward.
Yes.
And so people always ask, well, how could you do a eulogy and you didn't show any emotion? Because God knew what I needed, and He gave it to me when I prayed, and that prayer was answered at that same moment.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like sometimes we got to get to a point to where just because God doesn't give it to us in the way we expect Him to give it, that doesn't mean it's not God.
Right.
And so the fact that you were able to receive that, hone it in, and still deliver speaks to your heart, man, and your passion. It reminds me of even, my mother, her grandmother who passed, and we was going through this same thing as well, and her decline, and she was like, I feel like Lord spoke to me and say, hey, it's time, and so that's wow, that's powerful. What impact are you most proud through your foundation's work? What are some things that you're most proud of in regards to this nonprofit?
Wow. It's so much that I'm thankful for, the opportunity to build relationships with kids at Edward J. Briscoe Elementary School.
Man, I went there too.
Yeah, and I'm so hurt that this is their last school year.
I went there.
That's an amazing school, and shout out to Miss Mays, the principal over there. She's just an amazing lady, and I hate to see that school close.
Yeah.
But that relationship is, if I had to rank the things that I'm most proud of through the Lockett Foundation, that's in the top 5. Buying books for kids, putting books in their libraries, because knowledge, education is the key for us as a community to rise up.
I agree.
Providing food to families that, weren't able to get a full pantry of groceries, giving fresh fruit to kids who may never experience fresh fruit. But we did, for a while, we had a food pantry over at C.C. Moss Elementary School, and we helped give away food at Edward J. Briscoe as well. But I think my top one would be our annual coat giveaway.
Wow.
Yeah. We would get, grants from Walmart, Ross, Burlington Coat Factory, also donations. We would have coat drives, and then as the winter became more fierce, we would give coats to kids.
I love it. Yeah.
All ages, all the way up to 18. And we impacted kids in as far away as Waco. We even gave some coats away in Arlington, some in Dallas, some in Fort Worth. But it was really exciting to impact kids in Waco. So,
wow.
Yeah, just making sure kids are warm, because what inspired me to do that, one day I was driving down the street and it was like 20 degrees outside, and I saw a kid in a shirt like this. And I'm like, no child should ever be in 20-degree weather in short sleeves.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to stay in this vein with your nonprofit. How do you balance passion with the practical side of running an organization? The reason why I ask this is because a lot of people who have nonprofits, they start out, the energy is high, they have the passion, they want to serve, they want to lead, they want to provide. But on the practical side of things, correct me if I'm wrong, nonprofits receive grants. So for you, how do you balance that, having that passion, but also the business side of it?
It's really hard. I'll be honest. And one thing I'm proud of is the fact that I have no issues being transparent about things. It's not easy running a nonprofit unless you have some backing, some strong financial backing that will allow you to say, oh, well, let me not worry about a 9 to 5, because it's hard to balance being a husband, being a parent, being a pawpaw, being a son, being an uncle, a sibling, and then having a job, a career, a 9 to 5, a side hustle, and then having your passion for community over here. It's almost like not balancing, but juggling. It's like you're juggling.
I like that.
And it's hard, because I'll be honest with you, the past couple of years, Lockett Foundation hasn't been as visible, because, we had to, 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 to look at our board of directors and kind of rework that. And then I just decided, okay, for a year, few months, whatever, we're going to just kind of lay low, rebrand, get things together, really analyze what we're doing, how well we're doing it, where we need to improve, and then come back stronger.
Yes, I like that.
So a reset basically, because in August it'll be 10 years since I founded the organization. So what I'm thinking is, for the 10-year anniversary, let's relaunch, let's reset, let's kind of hone in on our focus. Instead of being so broad, let's just pick one thing.
I love it. And maximize.
That's a part of learning. Because we all have passion, and honestly, most nonprofits end in the first 5 years. So I'm excited that we're still alive. I mean, we might be on life support, but we yet holding on.
Yes, sir. There's still some life there. Even in life support, there's still some life there.
Nobody pulled the plug yet. So it's hard to balance passion and just being realistic.
Yes.
Because, that's why you have to have a good circle. You got to have that person who's realistic, grounded, practical, who will say, oh, that's a beautiful dream, but how you going to make it happen? Because I'm a big dreamer, and, they say opposites attract. So I can have these big dreams, and I can put it all on paper and make it sound good. And then my wife will come along and bust my bubble, and she's like, now how you going to do all that? When are you going to have time to do it? Because you're already overloaded. When are you when you putting something else on your plate? I thought you were clearing stuff off your plate, Jerome. And, then I'm like, oh, she make me sick. She make me mad, but she right.
Shout out to the wifey, man. I believe me, I know.
Yeah, I love my wife. I love you, Deborah. I'm just giving you a hard time. I know I get on your audience 10 times more than you get on mine. So, but I love you.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Partnership is everything, man. Especially when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriages, community service. Partnership is everything.
You tell it.
Here at the library, one thing that we're really, really big on is teamwork. How can we utilize each other's skill sets to make things work? So for you, knowing that, okay, we've been around for 10 years, we low key and we were getting ready to relaunch, how important for you is teamwork and making sure that you have the right people in place?
Absolutely. I think teamwork is very important when it comes to a small organization like a nonprofit, because you have to have people who complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. It doesn't make sense to have 4 people who all are great communicators, but none of them are good with money.
That's heavy.
That's really important, that everybody plays a role, they know their role and they do it well. And the communication is there when some person is going through something and they might be slacking off or whatever because they got this going on in their personal life. Just having that relationship where you can articulate that and say, hey, you know what, Willie, I'm struggling. Can you kind of pick up the slack for me, or can you have, Karen or something? You know what I'm saying? So I think communication and just having those strong relationships, that definitely is the strongest contributor to the success of an organization, no matter how big or small.
I totally agree, especially with the staff that we have here. Even though it's only 5 of us, we do a lot of great and big things because of, like you mentioned earlier, we complement each other. We know each other's strengths. And we know each other's weaknesses. And because we know that, we can operate like a well-oiled machine, and get things done. So shout out to my team.
They are amazing. I know when I was working with Uplift, and I reached out to you guys, it was like immediate that you responded, and it was just great, and I'm glad that even after I left Uplift, I was able to stay in contact with you guys and just continue, helping. because Forest Hill is an important community.
Yeah.
It's a great community, and libraries are important
Yes,
to
they are.
communities.
Yes,
and
they are.
I don't think people realize that how much libraries contribute to the greatness of a city.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree. Even speaking of that, April 18th from 1 to 4, we're having our second annual Writer Showcase.
Okay.
We'll have 20 plus authors that'll be here, author vendors, so people can buy their product and stuff like that. So if you ain't free, Jerome, come out, man. Check out some of these authors.
And that's on my bucket list to write a book too.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some amazing authors here, man. It's gonna be a fun event. Let's shift again. Take us back to your time as executive director of the Children's Defense Fund Freedom School, and what was that experience like for you?
Yeah. So, that's been about a decade ago, man. I was a member at Mount Olive
I saw that.
Baptist Church over here in Fort Worth on Evans. And my pastor at the time, Pastor W.T. Glenn, William Timothy Glenn. What's up, Pastor G? I went to him and I was like, Pastor G, I want to get us a chapter of the Children's Defense Fund Freedom School here at Mount Olive. And he was like, tell me about it. And so I explained it to him. He was like, man, I love this. Let's do it. Go for it. And he gave me free reign to do it. And it was just amazing. When I went to the executive director's training it was in Clinton, Tennessee, right outside of Knoxville at the Alex Haley Farm. And I was so excited because I remember as a kid watching the series Roots. And I'm like, this is where Alex Haley's people lived.
Sheesh.
And the cabins and the pond and the creek. And it was just amazing to be in such a historical place and to learn how the Children's Defense Fund pours into kids through freedom schools. And, you know, freedom schools are modeled after the freedom schools that the Freedom Riders had in the summer of 1964 in Mississippi. And so freedom schools are also designed to help prevent that learning slide and that learning fog that happens over the summer, where everything you learn in those 3 months you're out, you kind of forget it. And so freedom school is also culturally relevant. And so I love nothing more than to see my fellow African Americans, the children, being taught about things that they don't hear in school, you know, because our history is a rich history.
I agree.
We are an amazing people. We've invented things that benefited the whole world. We are some of the best authors, the best musicians. We are some of the best at everything.
Yes.
And our kids need to know that, because the world they live in tells them that they're not enough. They're not good enough. Their hair is not good enough.
Yes.
Their level of beauty is not good enough. You know, their music is not good enough. Their intellect is not good enough. And that's not true. That's the furthest thing from the truth. So being associated with the Children's Defense Fund Freedom School was amazing. We assembled an amazing staff. We had amazing scholars in our Freedom School, and the progress that they made was amazing. We had kids that their sight word recognition went through the roof. And so during the 4 years that we had it, on average, each year, we saw an increase of at least one grade level in 83% of those kids. And it was amazing. We had kids that came in and they could barely read. They weren't confident in their reading skills. And they left at the end of the summer confident in their reading. And a lot of that goes back to having books where the characters look like you.
I love it. I love it.
And that's what Freedom School is all about.
I love it. It takes me back when I had shout out to Mr. Austin Jackson, who I had on the show last year from Uplift the Scene. That's our guy. I had him on the show and he was talking about the progression of him being principal there as well. And he was like, when he first got there, the academics wasn't really good. You know, the students weren't really learning and moving forward. And so he said within a year's time, he took them from a grade F to a grade A. So that speaks to,
Yeah.
you know, you being a part of what you were
Yeah.
doing and seeing that progression. That's important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's very, very important, especially when it comes to academic and education.
Right.
One thing that my bishop would say is we get so fixated on entertainment that we neglect education.
We do.
Not everybody is gonna, you know, want to become an athlete or
Exactly.
NBA player or
Exactly.
WNBA player. What about being a doctor? What about being a lawyer?
Right.
What about being a scientist? There's other ways for us to excel.
That's true.
And so, yeah, that's an amazing thing. For you, staying right there, what kind of long-term impact do you think that program had on students and families involved? What did you see from that tenure?
I still see kids. So our first summer, we had the Freedom School there at the church in 2015, 16, 17, and 18.
Yeah.
And so it's been about a decade, and I still see some of those kids who are now adults, and they remember me.
Wow.
And they talk about how Freedom School changed them. And even some of the parents, I still see some of the parents, and they're like, you know, my kid wasn't confident when they came to Freedom School, but they left a totally different person because not only did it help them academically, it helped them to see themselves in a positive light.
That's awesome. I love it.
That means all the world to me, because one of my favorite songs, and I like Aretha Franklin's version, is Young, Gifted, and Black. I love that song. If you've never heard it, Google it and listen to it. Young, Gifted, and Black. I think that it's so important for me, for you, and for everyone that is an adult to pour into these kids words of encouragement and affirmations and let them know, yes, you're young and black, and that's not a curse, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
You're young, gifted, and black, and so use your gift to uplift people and make this world a better place.
Yes.
And don't let anybody tell you that you're not good enough. You are enough. You're more than enough. Because God don't make no junk.
Yes, he don't. He'll make no junk. We are not made by accident. One thing about purpose, man, that I've learned, I heard it from a business leader, is that we don't find purpose, we discover it.
That's right.
That's right. On this journey that we are on. And so, yeah, I definitely think this younger generation needs us. They need healthy role models, black women, black men. They need it. And I'm so proud you mentioned kids. Shout out to Patricia Smith, who's our storyteller here. Okay. She does an amazing job, man, with our children, with story time every Tuesday and Saturday. You know, her skill set and just her passion and love for help uplifting these kids,
Absolutely.
man, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, shout out to you, Patricia. I know you out doing your school thing. But we love you here at the library. Take a moment to, I guess, share any success story that you remember from Freedom School that you can share with us.
Oh, man. Man, it's so many.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot. Like, but if you had to pick one.
What pops into my mind is the relationship that was built with the state office, which was actually in Houston, and the amazing lady that really, she's with Children's Defense Fund. She poured so much into me as an executive director at our site in Mount Olive. Cecilia Joseph is her name, and she's down there in Houston, Texas. Just an amazing little lady. And to see her come and do her unannounced visits and, you know, just be overwhelmed at how well we performed and to say how amazing our scholars were, that gave me joy, because I knew the kids were amazing, but I wanted other people to see.
Yes.
And so one of the things about Freedom School is at the end of the summer, the last day of Freedom School is your showcase. And the kids put on a performance to kind of, through arts, show the people, parents, community members, what they learned during that 6 weeks.
I love that, yeah.
And so just to hear them singing Something Inside So Strong. I know that I can make it, though you're treating me wrong. Something inside so strong. That's awesome. That was just seeing that every year, seeing them realize, hey, I do have something inside me that's so strong.
Yes.
I do have something in me that's unbreakable. No matter how hard society tries to break me, I can't be broken because God is within me.
I love it.
And you know, that's the success story. I can't think of just one that outshines the other. I mean, there were some amazing kids that did some amazing things, but at the end of the day, all of them were amazing. It's just to me, the biggest success story is the amazing memories that I still bump into people and we talk about, you know, because 4th of July, I would always get that grill. And, you know, well, on the 3rd, because we would be closed for the 4th.
Right.
But I would get that grill and we would have a little cookout and we'd have our music going. And it just felt like a backyard cookout. You know, and the kids we would have grandparents' day, and just to have parents and grandparents come and talk about, you made an impact on my kid's life. My child is a different child now than when he first came. That's it.
Yeah. It takes me back to a quote, I think it's from Maya Angelou, that said, it's not about what you've done, but how you made me feel.
People might forget your name. They might even forget your title or whatever, but they won't forget how you made them feel.
I love that. Let's shift again. Let's get to you being a father, you being a husband. You mentioned earlier about your wife, about like, hey, you got too much on your plate. Be like, you might want to. So just kind of, I guess, walk us through the experiences. Husband and father.
And it's not just my wife. My mom tells me all the time that I try to do too much. She's like, ever since you were a little boy, you've tried to change the world. You're always trying to save every person that needs to be saved, and you can't do it. Sometimes you need to practice self-care.
Yes.
She always says to me, son, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Man, I say that all the time.
Yeah, you know.
Say it all the time.
My mom tells me all the time, you do too much. People want you to get into politics. That's not what God called you to do. You know, and I'm like, how you know what God called me to do, Mama? You my spokesperson. She like, I gave birth to you. I knew what God had called you for before you were even born.
Yes.
You know, because she said that when I was in her womb, I was just da-da-da-da-da. She was like, oh, he gonna be restless. He gonna be a game changer and he gonna shake the world up. And, you know, as a kid, my mother would always tell me, you have everything within you to be one of the greatest men to ever walk the face of the earth, but you have to learn to believe in yourself and trust in God. And so for me, balancing all of that is hard because if I love you with every ounce of my being. So I love my mom. I love my wife. I love my son. I love my stepdaughter. I love my grandson. I love my siblings. I love my nieces and nephews. I love my close friends. I love everybody, really. But the older I get, the more I realize that family is where it is.
Yes.
You know, I love working in the community, but nothing beats going home and my wife is sitting there with our grandson and he's like, you know, and I'm like, oh man, he love his pawpaw. And, you know, that makes my world. Taking a walk in the park with my wife and grandson means more to me than anything. I love being president of the neighborhood association. I love serving on all the boards I serve on. I love being over our First Friends ministry at church. I love all of that. But the time with my family means so much more.
Yes.
You know, my mom was in the hospital last week. I sat up at that hospital pretty much every day. That meant more to me than anything, just being there for my mom. You know, my family is everything to me. You know, my brothers, I love my brothers. We might not always agree and see eye to eye all the time, but I would catch a case for my brothers. My son, I mean, I raised him as a single dad. You know, he was mine after 2 months. picked him up, and from that point forward, he was mine, and raised him, and he made me proud. He's a really thriving artist over in Dallas. He actually painted the mural of a Tatiana Jefferson on Allen and Evans.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I've seen that
It's my
mural
boy
too.
Juju.
Wow,
Yeah,
shout
Juju
out.
Johnson.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Juju.
That's awesome.
He had some paintings that were on display at Dallas City Hall outside. He made some big George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Tatiana Jefferson.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really big. He's a great artist, but he puts a social spin on it. Because, he too knows how difficult it is to be a black man in America.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well said. I remember teaching new members class and sharing with them. We were talking about gifts, and one thing that the Lord shared me is that our gifts are not to be left in wrapper paper. They're meant to be utilized.
That's right. That's right.
So when you think about
right.
everything that you're doing, or those that are connected to you, things that we have on the inside of us, it's not meant to be left there. It's not meant to be leaving on the shelf. It's meant for us to pour out.
That's right.
And bless the world with. And so, Jerome, keep doing what you're doing, man.
I'm trying. I'm getting old. I'm getting tired.
But outside of all of that, what does self-care look like for Jerome? Knowing that you're on multiple committees, knowing that you are a husband, a father, what does self-care look like for Jerome?
So this is going to sound crazy because, as far back as I can remember, even back in elementary, middle, and high school, people have always had this perception of me as this introvert. I mean, I'm sorry, not introvert, extrovert.
Yeah.
Who's always out and about and who loves to be in social settings and things like that. And that's true to a degree. But those who know me really well know that I'm really an introvert. I'm just what they call, the term is a social introvert. I know how to hold my own in public, but it's a struggle because this is no problem. This is just me and you and a small audience.
Yeah.
But a room full of people, that makes me nervous. I don't like crowds. Being around too many people, that drains me. And so, to answer your question, self-care to me is just chilling in a room by myself, listening to some music, whether I have my headphones on or if I got the whole space to myself and I got my speaker on and I want to blast it,
I love it. Yeah.
That's just, I love music. Self-care to me is reading a good book.
I was just getting ready to ask you, what are you?
I love to read anything that talks about Black history. I love reading documentaries. I love watching documentaries.
Me too.
One of my favorite books was the autobiography of Malcolm X. Read my favorite singer of all time is Aretha Franklin. I read both of her autobiographies. I like reading books that are inspirational.
I love it. Yeah.
That, teach you that no matter what your situation is, there's still hope.
Yeah.
As long as God is around, and he ain't going nowhere.
Of course he ain't.
As long as God is around, there's hope.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
that's self-care to me.
I love it.
Eating my favorite meal.
What's your favorite meal?
Oh, man, I love food. Can I have to pick just one? Let's see.
I mean, you can give us
I'll just say my favorite genre of food is soul food.
Okay.
Now, this is going to trip you out. Self-care to me is a big old pot of collard greens.
My God.
And some hot water cornbread.
Ooh.
And I'm just dipping that hot water cornbread in that pot liquor. Because I like pot liquor. I will drink pot liquor. One time, I took a jar of pot liquor to work with me. And my coworker was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Pot liquor." And she was like, "What is pot liquor?" I'm like, "This is the juice off my collard greens." She's like, "You are as country as a billy goat." And I said, well, I'll just be country as a billy goat, bad, because I love collard greens and cornbread, especially with some smoked turkey necks.
Ooh, yes, yes, Lord.
I'm gonna go to Madia's now. Oh,
Madia's is
it's Monday, so it's closed.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Madia's is delicious. We've been there a few times. The staff know.
Man, listen.
They do got some bomb food.
Yeah, I'm always going down there. My mama be like, baby, go get me some of them neck bones.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
like, okay.
yes. I think Mike tried their neck bones. He said they were delicious.
But that's self-care to me.
Gotcha.
Collard greens and cornbread. I think Fantasia made a song about that. Yeah.
Oh, before we close, definitely got to close with another question from Dr. Karen Davis, who gave us earlier.
What's up, Doc?
If you had the power to change something, I guess, within the community, what would that be for you?
There's this old song that came out, I want to say in the 60s or early 70s, and it was like, we don't need another war. We don't need any more skyscrapers. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only thing that there's not enough of. And if I could change anything in this world, it would be to eliminate hatred.
I love
and
it.
all forms of hatred, including racism, sexism, misogyny, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Get rid of all of that and replace it with love.
Yeah.
Compassion.
Yes.
Kindness.
Yes.
We are in the middle of the most ignorant, foolish war right now that is so highly uncalled for.
Yeah.
And then there are threats of blowing things up tomorrow. Yeah. And it just makes no sense to me, because what happened to diplomacy? What happened to being adults and talking things out?
Yes.
But it's rooted in greed. It's rooted in hatred.
Yes.
And that's what the world doesn't need. I'm so sick of racism. I'm so sick of sexism. I'm so sick of misogyny and patriarchy, keeping women down, because I just don't understand. Women are brilliant.
Yes, they are. Yes.
And I don't think you would be. I know I wouldn't be here. I don't think you would be here if it wasn't for a woman.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because I don't know any men that push the baby out.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
You're right, Jerome.
It's just crazy that this world is so full of hate. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But that's the world we live in, and we just have to do our best to be representative of the love of Christ.
Yes.
And if we can do that, it's hard too.
Yeah, it can definitely be.
It's some parts of the Bible I'm like, oh, did you have to put that in there? Love thy enemies. Love your enemies.
Yes, pray for those who persecute you.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. And you got the most horrible neighbor in the world, Not that my neighbors, I got good neighbors, but everybody not so blessed. You might have a neighbor from hell, and God is telling you to love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your enemies. Bless those who persecute you.
Yes.
Really? You're going to persecute me and I'm supposed to bless you? But it's tight, but it's right. God, that's what God calls us.
That's what he calls us to do, man.
If we do our part, hopefully, the world gets better. But, we got something else to look forward to.
Yeah.
We're going to make it to the other side.
Yeah.
And every day going to be Sunday. Sabbath will never end.
Yeah.
We're going to walk some streets of gold.
Yes, sir.
We're going to hear the heavenly host singing. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be all right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. I appreciate you, man. This was great, man. I definitely had a lot of fun. Definitely had a great dialogue. But I appreciate you sharing, man, your vulnerability, your transparency, especially being, a black man. We don't do that enough. Before I close,
we don't.
There's this quote that I use as us growing up. We're always taught to be Superman, but we're never taught to be Clark Kent.
Right.
In other words, we're never taught to be human. We're never taught to show vulnerability and transparency amongst our brothers and sisters. And so I appreciate you, man.
It's a struggle. I appreciate it.
Yes,
I appreciate you letting me be here. Shout out Willie Beeman.
Y'all know what it is.
Forest Hill Public Library.
Forest Hill Public Library, man.
Yes,
we are doing big and great things here.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Without further ado, y'all do me a favor. Go to our YouTube channel. There's Forest Hill Public Library District. Please hit that subscribe button. Also, follow us on our Facebook page. That's Forest Hill Public Library, where you can keep up all of our programming, innovative events, and things of the sort. And also, how can they, follow you? Are you on social media?
Oh, I'm all over social media. So all you have to do is just do a Google search, Jerome Carlos Johnson. Why my full government name? Because, well, I like both of my names. I love my middle name. My mother calls me Carlos. My wife hates it. She calls me Jerome. So I just do both. Jerome Carlos Johnson. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. What's the other one?
TikTok?
Probably, I think so, yeah. On TikTok, I'm under my alter ego, the Loquacious Loner.
Oh.
Yeah, the Loquacious Loner.
Okay.
And that's my fragrance line is Loquacious Loner.
Okay.
Fragrance oils.
Okay.
So yeah, just Google search Jerome Carlos Johnson. All that's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
Loquacious Loner. Loquacious Loner is definitely on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. That's my TikTok videos.
Gotcha.
And since I'm loquacious, I just have a lot of videos that talk about random things, mainly food, because I love food, and music and movies, and, things like that. And then my fragrance line.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
This is Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. And I can say that we had an extraordinary conversation on today. It was definitely powerful, man.
Because of the extraordinary. Willie Beeman. That's why it was extraordinary.
Y'all continue to follow us, man. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
That was